morning, everybody, and welcome to the November 13th City Council meeting. We'll begin with the pledge and invocation by Councilman Curtis.
Pray with me, please. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the change of season and the cooler weather and the fall rains we received last week. Thankful for all those people gathered here today to participate in our local government. We ask for wisdom in making our decisions today. We hope that our actions will lead to improvement of our city. Lord, we're reminded this week to be especially thankful for the veterans in our community. They've given all of us a gift of safety and prosperity. We hope you'll keep us mindful to be thankful and live lives that are worthy of the service that our veterans have given our country. And Lord, we ask that you place protective hands around our city staff, our first responders, our mayor pro tem, our county judge, governor, and president as they carry out their duties in service to our city, county, state, and country. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Curtis. All right, we'll begin with the approval of three different sets of minutes. August 14th, August 28th, and then the August 28th Boards and Commissions session.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes. P1. Diane?
Good morning.
Good morning, Diane.
Look at y'all. Y'all are bright and shiny. That's amazing.
Here you got about a 5 to 6 minute presentation for us.
I got it. I'm Diane Bays, the president of Visit Tyler, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. We are the destination marketing organization. For those who don't know, who are in the audience and watching, we promote the city to visitors through hotel tax dollars that we are gifted by this organization. Our mission is to improve the quality of life of our citizens through travel and tourism promotion and destination development. So that is what we focus on, visitors bringing new money into our city. So this is our end of year report, and we wanted to share what we have happening. First, though, we think it's important that you know the tourism partners that we work with in this city. We have nearly 1,000 businesses that represent the tourism industry in Tyler. So that's a significant number of restaurants, retail, attractions, hotels, RV parks, the airport. All of those folks, the venues that are in our community, also make up the quality of life of our citizens. So if think of our town without those things, would people move here? Would they move here if there were no restaurants, there were no retail, there were no attractions, there were no things to see and do? Likely they would not. A business would not come either. So they are very important to what we do in our city. Just a few pieces of information about the analytics that we have. Our website, which we will talk about here in a minute, we saw an 18% increase in users to visittyler.com. If you haven't been there, we highly recommend you get there. Instagram, we saw a 24% increase in our followers, a 17% increase in our Facebook followers, and 47% increase in our LinkedIn. On the website, just to kind of give you an idea of what that means, we had 312,000 users in this past fiscal year, and we had 550,000 page views. So people are looking at our site, and in the middle of the year, we actually changed it. So we saw a very small decrease in that as we were building it back up. but it came back up. Instagram, we have 12,000 followers. We just hit 40,000 followers with Facebook. We have over 1,300 followers on LinkedIn, and that is our business profile page. And so we do a lot of talking about our events, our venues, trying to reach out to meeting planners. We did some targeted marketing with those folks as well. Occupancy and average daily rate, this comes from our hotels. We were at 59.73% this year in our occupancy. The average in the state is around 60%, so we were just a little bit down this year. One month really kind of caused that, and it was the month, I think it was February, if I look on there correctly, that's pretty small. So, no, it was January. We were at 50%, and we're still trying to figure out what happened there. But I can tell you, last year, January through March, we had Delic come in to do their turnover, and that affected us around 7 to 12%. So we're really kind of closer to the numbers for 2022, 2023, or 2021, 2022. So that's really kind of anomaly that happened with us. The good news is the rate made up for it. We had an average daily rate of $85.17. That was up $1.25 from the year before. So that helped offset that occupancy. I'm really proud of my team, accomplishments that we were able to get done this year. Our Visit Tyler rebranding. If you haven't been to the Visit Tyler store downtown, I'd encourage you to go because you can see that rebranding. We decided we wanted to do something a little bit different. If you look at the brand that's at the top, you'll see the sun, the roses, the trees, the water, the leaves. All of those things make up the nature of our community, and nature is our #1 selling point in Tyler, according to the visitors who come here. So we also worked with the Department of Agriculture, and we got a bloom calendar. People want to know about roses and azaleas, but they don't bloom year-round. So we said, what does? So if you go to our website, you can go to any month in the bloom calendar, and it will tell you what is blooming, so that visitors can see what is happening in our community. And we also had a new vibrant tear-off map that we added that's there on the right side, and we have those available if you are interested in them. Sheridan Smith is on our team, and she did a great job in helping to put that together for us. As for our meetings, leisure, and sports, we had 55 groups and meetings that came to Tyler last year. 41 of those were directly booked by Susan Travis on our team, and we provided assistance to 14 others. That means they were already coming and wanted extra help potentially with getting hotel blocks or getting items for welcome bags for their groups when they come in. And then, of course, we had 27 sporting events, 18,000 participants who came to our community for sports, which is a very strong piece for our city. Our earned media, we're really proud of this. So in November of 2023, Sheridan started going to travel conferences with a Travel Texas group that were media missions. And from that, we got 13 articles that were produced from travel writers who met her and then followed back up wanting to do stories. We had a couple of those stories in Southern Living. We can't pay for that advertising. That's a significant piece. Texas Highways had a couple. AAA Magazine had a couple. It's a significant group. All in all, that readership reached 7.5 million people. So we are really proud of those efforts that we did. Events and collaborations. Everybody knows about the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. We moved that this year to the W.T. Brookshire Conference Center. We had 350 attendees there. We get a ton of earned media just by Earl Campbell. Just that name does that for us, and he has the Tyler Rose in his nickname, and he's blessed us by allowing us to use that. Totality Tyler, we had 50 local businesses participate in the Totality Tyler event that we had during the eclipse, and 26 states and 8 countries came through our visitor center alone. So we know that was significant. We had information from a company called Datify that the Texas Historical Commission gave us that just did geofencing just around the square, and we compared it year over year, and we had 46,000 more visitors this year than we did last year in that 7-day time frame. And that was just on the square. So around the city, we have no idea how many more people came. We had 600 attendees at the East Texas Kickoff Luncheon, which celebrates high school football in our area. And then we had 18 local businesses participate in Weekend of Flight. And we had 14 states and 145 Texas cities and towns who purchased tickets to that event. And they have told us they're going to be, the Rose City Air Fest is going to extend that to 2 days. So we love that we're going to have that weekend and that event be a larger piece. Things that we also did this year, we added a Visit Tyler Tourism Committee, which is made up of 15 travel and tourism businesses in our community. We meet monthly. Our Visit Tyler Alliance meets quarterly, and there are over 400 signed up to participate in that. They don't all come, but they are interested in travel and tourism. They are representing the travel and tourism industry, realtors, hospitals, because of the medical tourism piece. Our music-friendly advisory board was a requirement in order for us to get our music-friendly designation. They meet monthly, and they have now added a community engagement committee, a Make Music Day committee, and a Songwriter Festival committee. And so they are ready to go. They are gunning, and we have all 3 higher education institutions represented on that committee, or that board. And then, of course, the Sport Tyler board, they have 13 members. They meet quarterly and are getting ready to meet this afternoon. So that is happening. We had our very first tourism luncheon this year. It was at the W.T. Brookshire Conference Center. We had 340 attendees, which we were thrilled about. And we have a new date for the next one. It will be Tuesday, April 29th. We're moving it to the April-May timeframe because National Travel and Tourism Week happens during that timeframe. So we wanted to get closer to it, but it was really important that we have an event this year. So put that on your calendar. We hope you can join us then. My team has done great work, and so we went to our Texas Association of Convention and Visitor Bureaus annual conference, and we were recognized first place in our meetings and events promotion, first place in our leisure tourism marketing campaign, and first place in our website design and effectiveness. We were very proud of that because our colleagues vote on that. So if they are saying you've done great work and we recognize it because this is what we do for a living too, we were thrilled to come back with that. And so I'm truly, again, really proud of our team. Other designations we got this year, in January, we got the music-friendly designation from the Texas Music Office. We were the 55th city to do that. We got the Brew City, Texas designation from the Craft Beer Distribution Destination Organization. And we also have Truvine on a passport, Texas Brew Passport. If you're interested, let me know. I'll tell you all places to go. And then in December 10th, at the foyer of the Plaza Tower, we will be getting the tourism-friendly Texas designation. It's a first-time designation. We were the 3rd city to receive that, and we're now going to be accepting it. And we're excited about that because it says you have done the right things in your community to be tourism-friendly to visitors. And that is just another opportunity for us to tell the story. And then finally, these are numbers from the end of 2023. Unfortunately, we only get those in April of every year, so next year we will have the numbers for this year. This is important. 3,300 workers in our community. I've already told you about the 1,000 businesses. We have $354.6 million in economic impact spent by visitors. That's almost $1 million a day. That's new money coming into our city. $106 million of that goes to the employees of this city, and $28.9 million goes to local and state taxes. The other importance of that is they aren't just paying hotel tax, even though that's how we're funded and that's how we market. They're also paying sales tax that goes to arts and culture, schools, public safety, infrastructure, all of those things. So the visitor dollar is really an important dollar, and you want to get more and more and more of that. If not for visitor spending in Tyler, every household would have to pay $475 every year in taxes. Nobody wants that. We want that number to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. So the more visitors we have here, the better off we all are as the citizens of the community. That is it. It's probably over 6 minutes.
It's okay. Thank you. The results speak for themselves, and you can see the results. So thank you for everything that you do. And you mentioned your team several times, and you have a great team. I see some of them in the audience. Would you mind introducing those? That are here?
Absolutely. Sheridan Smith is our Director of Communications and Marketing. Cindy Smoke is the Executive Director of Sport Tyler. Susan Travis would be here, but she is doing a site visit today with the people who are wanting to bring a conference here. She is our Director, our Vice President of Sales. And then, of course, I'd be remiss not to talk about my boss, Henry Bell, with the Chamber. And Grant Ingram is the new COO of the Chamber, so he is here as well. And so we are really, really proud of the work we get to do.
Well, thank you all very much for the work you do. Anybody have any questions for Diane?
Thank you. That was outstanding.
All right, Z1, Kyle. Morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. This first item was tabled in the last meeting, so I believe we'll need a motion to remove it from the table.
All right, do we have a motion to remove Z1 from the table?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z1 has been untabled.
All right, this item is a zone change or a site plan amendment for PMXD1 zoning over at Arbor Ridge and Oak Hill Boulevard. As you see here, it's over in the fresh area. The applicant is requesting the site plan amendment to change the layout, reduce the number of loft units down to 21 units, as you see here on the site plan. Previously, it was higher density, and the units had parking lots near the front. This change proposes garage parking spaces, and also they are proposing after the last meeting, when it was tabled until today, they have amended the site plan to show the additional spaces there in red. I'll do it again. They have talked to the adjacent property owners who had concerns about the loss of those spaces, as they're currently on the property, as you see here. So they have discussed that. All parties are in agreement, as my understanding is, with this proposed site plan, as you see here. The applicant or the request was previously had protest associated with it, but that has been withdrawn by the neighbor. The Planning Commission, by unanimous vote, recommended approval of this change.
Thank you, Kyle. I see that, Mark, you have signed up to speak on this. If you want to, you can, since... Okay. And then Kate and Zeller here, if y'all would like to speak. No, anybody have any questions for Kyle then for Z1?
Kyle, so everything's worked out, everybody's happy, everybody's in agreement?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Z1.
No, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z1 passes. Z2.
Right, this is a request for the closure of 2 alley rights-of-way. These are just across the street here downtown. The applicant is proposing to abandon these rights-of-way to incorporate them or parts of them into their planned development, which is the next zoning item. But as we see here, these are 2 alleys. One runs north to south, which has a surface on it right now. And then the east to west alley right-of-way is currently unimproved and not utilized. The applicant owns the properties to the west, north, east, and partially to the south. There is a auto repair shop to the south that they do not own. And so if this request is approved, the applicant will be entitled to incorporate half of the rights-of-way into their property or where they are adjacent to it. And so essentially the they will incorporate all of it except for half of the alley to this, adjacent to the auto repair shop, unless they do work out some arrangement in the meantime. We did discuss this request with at least the police department, who we understood utilize from time to time the alley to kind of cut through there. They were not opposed to the change if there was imminent development on the property, which there is. And we did not receive any other opposition from property owners in the area. The Planning Commission, by a 7-0 vote, recommended approval of this request, subject to the rights-of-way being replatted within 6 months.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Anybody have any questions for Kyle? All right, the applicant is here. Will, would you have any questions or would you speak on anything? Okay, anybody have any questions for Will? No? All right, entertain a motion.
A motion to approve Z2.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z2 passes. Z3.
This is the zone change from DBAC, Downtown Business Arts and Culture District, and M1 Light Industrial District to PMXD2 Planned Mixed Use District for the same area there, which is again across the street to the south. The request is to develop the property with 204 multifamily units in a similar fashion to the Morrison lots, which are just also south of here. I'll stay here. Surrounding properties are a mixture of industrial zoning, but are largely commercially used. There's some retail shops in the area, as well as, again, that auto repair shop. There's a car wash to the west and some other uses like that in the area. And then to the east is, again, multifamily, and to the south is also PMXD2, owned by the applicant, which also planned for some multifamily mixed-use development there. This request is consistent with the future land use guide. It's high-density mixed use. These properties were conveyed to the applicant in previous years with the intent to develop this type of housing within the downtown area. And so the applicant is proposing this site plan here, which again is 204 units. I believe the majority or vast majority of them are one-bedroom units, and at least along Ferguson, it is similar to what we currently see with the Morrison development. The development does also have amenity, an amenity center there, a pool, things like that for the residents. It is a gated development as well, like the other ones in the area. And this also implements the Tyler First goal for more housing, more rooftops in the downtown area, which will help hopefully incentivize additional retail development and services in the downtown district. Of the notices that were sent out, none were returned in favor or in opposition to the request, and the Planning Commission, by a 7-0 vote, recommended approval.
Thank you, Kyle. Anybody have any questions for Kyle or for the applicant? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z3 passes. Z4.
Okay, these next two cases are pretty similar, but I'll take them one by one here. This is a request from R1A single family to R1B single family on Callaway Road. You see there's two lots there, two properties there that front along Callaway. Surrounding properties are to the northeast are R1A and are vacant or developed with single family homes. To the west is R1B, which is what the applicant is also asking for. And those were changed in the past few years, and they have been developed as single family homes as well. There are storage units to the south in the industrial zoning. This request would amend the future land use guide to single family medium low density, similar to what was done again to the west, as you see there. The applicant plans to just develop 2 homes or one home on each property here. Our understanding is that these properties were conveyed or broken out of the parent tract, probably as an inheritance or a family transaction. The issue is that they do not meet the minimum lot size for the R1A zoning, which is 9,000 square feet. I believe they're around 7,000 or 8,000 square feet. And so the request would allow the applicant to prepare a plat for the properties, which is required for a building permit, and develop homes on the 2 lots that you see there today. They don't intend to and would not be able to further subdivide into more lots than what you see there. In the current layout there, of the notices that we sent out, we did receive 1 in opposition from the adjoining owner to the north, with a total protest of 28.80%. I think some of the concern there was how the change would affect their property and the addition of more homes in the area and how that would affect their livelihood there. As we mentioned, this is kind of a technical or a cleanup item because the zone change would not introduce any more housing in the neighborhood or any additional lots than what you might already see today. They plan to build on the 2 lots that you see there, so it's not an increase in density, but there will be two new homes along Callaway if this is approved. With the protest exceeding 20%, a vote of approval of 3/4 majority of City Council will be required to approve this request, and the Planning Commission by a 7-0 vote recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle? I don't have anybody signed up to speak on Z4, but anybody here that has filed the protest on Z4 wish to speak? No? Okay. I entertain a motion on Z4.
So
Move
moved.
to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z4 passes. Z5. Okay.
And again, this is a similar request, but it is just for one property here. It's from R1A to R1B for the same reason. The current parcel does not meet the minimum lot size for R1A and therefore would not be able to be platted if it's rezoned to R1B. The minimum lot size is 6,000 square feet, and that would allow it to be platted to build 1 home on the property. Similar to this one, the surrounding properties are generally residential, except for the storage units to the south, as you see here. And the Planning Commission, and we also had the same concern from the adjoining owner to the north, who also owns the property, opposed the previous case as well. And again, with this will require a 3/4 majority for approval, and the Planning Commission recommended approval.
Any questions for Kyle? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Z5 passes. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, R1, Cameron.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem
morning,
and Council. Cameron Williams, Traffic Engineer for City of Tyler. This is a resolution to enter into an advanced funding agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for 2 Highway Safety Improvement Program projects. And the Highway Safety Improvement Program has a goal of reducing fatal and severe injuries on our roadways. And it is a federal program that typically you've seen we bring before. We do 100% of the design cost, and then there's a match. And these 2 projects are what we call off-system on city streets. So there's typically a 10% construction match from the city and a 90% match from the federal government on this. The 2 projects that we are focusing on with this program are upgrading existing signalized intersection and an unsignalized pedestrian crossing that are within our city neighborhoods and connect those neighborhoods and schools to our trail system. You'll see on our map here is the blue is a lot of our trail system from the Rose Redmond Trail, the South Side Park Trail, and South Tyler Trails. And these two projects connect those trail systems. So the Grande and Sutherland, that is an existing signalized intersection. It does not have any pedestrian signals. So this project would be adding those pedestrian signals, replacing the cabinet at that location, and providing crossing opportunities for pedestrians to get to that trail system at that location. The other location is on New Copeland Road at the Rose Redmond Trail across from Hubbard Middle School. And so this would connect that neighborhood and the school over to Rose Redmond Trail. That's existing crossing guard works that for the school, and you have a significant amount of students that cross there as well. And so improving the safety at these two locations. Here are just two images of conceptually what's planned. On the left, you have Grande at Sutherland. Again, this is adding curb ramps, pedestrian signals, and improving those sidewalk connections to the trail, getting that neighborhood over to the trail system. On the right, you have New Copeland Road at Rose Redmond across from Hubbard Middle School. So the plan here would be a pedestrian hybrid beacon, which is what you have over by Old Oldman by UT Tyler for that pedestrian crossing for the university students. It would also add in a raised median there to give some refuge, some additional protection there for pedestrians as they cross that roadway. So in that way, it stops traffic, allows the pedestrians to cross, and then keep going. So those are the two projects that are part of these advanced funding agreements that we'd be entering into with the Texas Department of Transportation. So with that, it is requested that the City Council adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager or the manager's designee as the designated representative of the City of Tyler to execute advanced funding agreements with the Texas Department of Transportation for multiple highway safety improvement program projects.
Thank you, Cameron. Any questions for Cameron?
Yeah, I've got you said it's similar to the one over by UT Tyler. Would that work anytime somebody walks up to cross the street? I mean, is it going to stop traffic anytime somebody?
Yeah, so you can operate a couple different ways. You can operate it where it's anytime somebody comes up and push it, it's going to slow traffic down. You can also set it to be in coordination with there's an adjacent signal at the loop in New Copeland. So we could work with that to make sure that we don't cause any type of queue buildup that would impact that traffic. So, and you could do that by time of day. So maybe there's more peak times of say that 7 to 8:30 in the morning. We want those to work together. But maybe late at night or something, we want to give more instant gratification. So we can make some changes like that.
I got a question. Marty, this one over by Hubbard, once it's installed, will then y'all remove your crossing guard once people get used to it, or will you keep someone there to extra eyes on getting the kids across the school?
Dr. Crawford, if you want to come up to the microphone, I had you listed. I was going to call you in a second. Anybody have any other questions for Cameron before Dr. Crawford comes up? No? Okay. Dr. Crawford, will you state your name and address?
Marty Crawford, proudly office at 1319 Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose Parkway.
That's right.
Here to speak in favor of that, Councilman Wynn. To answer your question, student safety is a priority for us, and now that we actually employ and HR all crossing guards after our partnership with the city graciously ended. Two-way ending on that. Agent Jeff Millslagle, our Director of Safety Security, is here. We will probably keep someone there, at least one. We actually have two down there right now, so I don't think we're going to reduce that. We enjoy our supervision of and management of the crossing guards, and I don't think it's going to be anything to keep one there just for an additional piece of safety there to make sure that the children adequately, safely move across there. I will say that we do enjoy our relationship with Cameron back here as your traffic engineer with the city, and we understand that we'll continue our partnership in trying to get a similar crosswalk located in the northwest loop across from Tyler High School. We've tried that before with the city. We've been unsuccessful because let's all remember that that's a state highway. This is a city street we're talking about. It's a little bit more difficult to work with the state on that. I have constituents that we share with y'all that have that same concern about the one across from Tyler High, and they may think that we're giving preference to the one on the south end of town when we're not. It's a little bit more difficult to work with the city and between the city, the school district, and the state of Texas when you start talking about a state highway. That's why I'm here today to speak in favor of this, and appreciate y'all's support of this as well.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Crawford. I'm sorry, Dr. Crawford, we appreciate the work that you're doing with the students in our city.
Yeah,
And welcome to the
Dr.
chamber.
McKellar. Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Anybody have any other questions for Dr. Crawford or for Cameron? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion for R1.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, R1 passes. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Dr. Crawford. 01, Chief Toller, Chief Coble.
Well, good morning, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. It's good to be with you today. Annually, we come back to reauthorize the approved number of police officers and firefighters inside the city of Tyler. This year will be an adjustment to both as we get ready to move forward, and I'll let the Fire Chief explain his further. But this year, with the acceptance of the COPS hiring program, the COPS grant, we were awarded 2 more officers that'll be partially paid for the next 3 years. As we get ready to develop the downtown business area to put those officers downtown to help provide additional safety and security, and we look forward to moving forward with those in the near future.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Chief.
Our addition, we piggybacked on the police's upgrade this year. We ran into an incident where we have a promoted position, but we're trying to hire a new firefighter. And so we're needing a temporary addition, and then we'll give it back as soon as the promotions happen, and that position will be deleted immediately.
All right, anybody have any questions for either Chief Toller or Chief Coble? Was this something that Civil Service had to approve, or either of these not Civil Service?
No,
bypassed?
it's according to 143, the authorized positions are all in the municipal body.
Okay. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of 01?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 01 passes. Thank you both. 02. Okay, we're going to skip 02. I'm just kidding. Good morning, Kendrick.
Best one yet.
The best one yet? Okay.
We'll see.
All right, we're going to hold you to that.
Actually, it's just, item 02 is an annual kind of housekeeping ordinance on our investment policy. So we're required by the Public Funds Investment Act to review this annually, make any updates, and get you all to approve that. And so there's just minor changes in the actual ordinance. We're changing titles on the investment officers and actually on some of our authorized investments to be more inclusive of credit unions, and then also updating the name of one of our broker dealers. So I am requesting or recommending that City Council conduct an annual investment policy review and consider adoption of an ordinance amending Tyler City Code Chapter 2 by adopting the investment policy.
Any questions for Kedrick? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilman Curtis, was that you that moved to approve? Okay. Councilman Wynn, second? Or Councilwoman Hawkins, second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. 02 passes. Thank you, Kedrick. And I believe you're here on M1 as well.
Yes, sir. So you have item M1 before you. This is our fourth quarter revenue and expense report. So this gives you a good snapshot of how we ended the fiscal year. There are a few audit entries that are still going on. Some numbers could slightly change a little bit, but this will be pretty close. This report provides, it's not all of the funds, but about 70% of the appropriations. And it compares actual to actuals and gives you a good idea of where we concluded the year. So what I'll do is I'll just go through a little quick PowerPoint, just kind of hit some highlights here. For our general fund, sales tax came in under budget, almost $1.5 million. That's not alarming. We've been updating you on that all fiscal year. However, our fines and penalties and interest earnings offset some of that, a good part of that. So our revenues altogether came in under budget, a little over $500,000 for the entire fund. Also, revenue shortages were offset by expenditure savings of about $582,000. Sales tax revenues for fiscal year 25, year we just started, are up over 1%. That's excluding a large audit adjustment that we got in the current month. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we'll continue to see some recovery going into the new fiscal year. Water utility funds, revenues were under budget about $2 million, but we did have expenditures offsetting that, and some of those of about $1.94 million. Those were in areas, chemicals, CMOM, our right-of-way maintenance programs. We had some savings there, and also we had a large contingency that we just have for emergencies, and we didn't use all of those dollars. Starting in fiscal year 25, we're implementing rate increases. Also, we've got a water meter replacement program that should help the revenues out as well. Currently, we've changed out about 1,300 water meters out of the 11,000 that we're planning to change to get us to almost 100% electronic reading. So I say almost 100%. There's always going to be a few that'll go out and we'll have to keep replacing them. But this should be a very significant deal for water utilities and the business office getting these meters replaced, and hopefully help us to provide better customer service to our customers. So we'll move on. Solid waste. Solid waste revenues from all sources were projected to be about $686,000 less than budget, while expenditures came in over budget by $752,000. So this is a fund that we're continuing to work with. I think we've mentioned in the past that this is a fund that we're following and trying to get it back in good shape. Revenues, of course, did not cover residential and commercial expenditures, but in fiscal year 25, we're looking at additional rate increases, but also we're looking at our operation for efficiencies as well to try to make sure that, you know, we're physically responsible for all the dollars that are being collected in this fund. Airport fund, all revenues, including ARPA funds, covered actual expenditures. One of the things that we've also indicated in this fund, as our ARPA dollars begin to decline, we need to make sure that our revenues are covering the operating costs. They actually were very close, but going into next fiscal year, this is another fund that we're going to have to look at our fees and monitor them and make sure that we're covering our operating costs in this fund. Okay, development services, there's really not much to say there. That fund's doing very well. Revenues from all sources are $226,000 more than budget. They came in $90,000 less than budget. Hotel occupancy fund, revenues, we did have a decline in revenues. Revenues were about $148,000 less than budget, while expenditures were $275,000 less than budget. We'll continue to monitor outside agencies depending on what our revenues do. That way we, stay within in our boundaries as far as keeping this fund in the positive. So, employee benefits fund, let me knock on wood here. This fund had a great year. Our prescription and health claims were about $1.8 million less than budget. We're continuing to see some good things in this fund. Just very elated to see this fund doing as well as it is. That concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Thank you, Kedrick. Besides the solid waste fund and the airport fund, anything out of the ordinary or that concerns you?
Those are the major things, yes, yes.
Kedrick, on the solid waste, was the expense cleanup from the storms part of that increase? Did that play a big role in it?
There was, yes, there was some expenditures for that. I'll have to get that exact number for you, but yes, you're correct. There was.
Unbudgeted, we didn't know we were going to have them, so.
Now, some of the.
I didn't know if Leroy was back there.
Now, some of the pickups, we actually charge for some of the pickups. So a majority of that should have been covered by revenues, but I think there was some things that were done that probably wasn't covered.
Anybody else have any questions for Kedrick? All right, I'll entertain a motion on M1.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, M1 passes. Thank you, Kedrick.
Thank you.
All right, M2, Paul. Morning, Paul.
Okay, I'm Paul Newhouse, the Stormwater Management and Environmental Compliance Engineer, here to bring up item M2 this morning. This is the West Mud Creek Tributary A erosion remediation project right next to the Glenwood Church of Christ and residential properties. The project will make improvements from Rice Road down to Reap Road, and it is an erosion control project, so we are just addressing erosion control issues. And I say that because I've heard some questions about what it's going to do to the flows downstream. We're not changing what's happening and what affects the flows. The issues that we're addressing, again, I mentioned some erosion control issues. We've got box structures at Rice Road that have some erosion undermining. We've got some stream bank adjacent to the Glenwood Church of Christ that is getting close to the structure, and that's probably the biggest concern in terms of what property damage there. There's some homes on the other side that have had to replace fences. We're getting close to some pools and getting into their property there. And then just general outfalls that are along the creek have some issues as well. So this was identified, just as an FYI, as in the Comprehensive Stormwater Master Plan. They identified some issues here in this creek. This has been a concern that staff has seen, and we've gotten some public comments on this over the years. Just a quick slide here to show you. I've highlighted there in purple where we're doing some erosion control. So we're not, touching the entire creek. If you remember, we had to be careful of concerns with Waters of the U.S. and Army Corps of Engineers. We've run this plan by them, and they've approved it, and we're good that way. So we're addressing different things: Gabion baskets, Gabion mattresses, which are wire-filled baskets with rock riprap. We've got some turf mat reinforcement. We've got just the general riprap, like we like to do, the rock riprap around some outfalls, resetting those, and just addressing areas that have the most issues along the creek. Also, when we started this project, the estimated construction cost at the time was 2.7 to 3.1, and we got 3 bids that came in for this project, and the 3 bidders are listed there: Reynolds & Kay, Austin Filter Systems, and Baker & Company Construction was the low bidder. I'll pause here for some questions if anyone has them.
Paul, you got 3 bidders, 3 qualified bidders, but that's a big span.
It is.
Did that raise any concerns with your group?
Well, I'm not going to speak for, but I know that the first contractor there has got some other large projects going as well. They have the Keaton project, and they will be starting that after the first of the year, so I don't know if that was a factor. Austin Filter Systems, they are not a local contractor, but they appear to be very knowledgeable. I think sometimes we are a little hungrier than other times, I don't know. But I can't read minds, but we're not worried about the work that Baker will do.
The project, is there going to be fill first before I can't remember what the netting device.
The gabion baskets there?
Yeah.
Are you
filling in first and then putting it in, or putting it in where it is right now?
We're going to place it more or less where it's at. There will be some fill that's going in behind it, but there will be anchors that are going into the in situ soil that are going to be, we actually have some anchors that actually extend under the footprint of the church, but well below the foundation.
You've used Baker before, correct?
I'm sorry?
Have we used Baker before?
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Yes. They've done a number of subdivisions.
Right.
It's been a little while since they've worked directly for the city, but we are familiar with them. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Before I ask my questions, do you have any other slides?
Just my recommendation.
There are several houses being built right there in Holly Tree Drive, just south of the church. And that zoning request came before council several months ago. It was tabled, and the tabling had to do with the engineering study that was being performed and the drainage and erosion issues that we're now addressing. Do those houses that are being built, do they have to change anything? Does it affect those houses or that builder in any way? Are there any new requirements that they have to adhere to?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that they wanted to zone that and actually increase the concentration. If I remember, they wanted to add 1 or 2 lots, and of course they stopped that and are just working with what they have there. But they're far enough away from the creek and from the erosion. I think I can go back here. You're talking about the property just south of the church there on the. Let's see if I can.
Correct. So if you look at the picture on the right, yes, it's
right here
in that vacant space. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, right down here and up through here.
Yes.
Yes, sir. They are far enough away, and as you can see, there wasn't much in terms of erosion control going on in that area. The gabion baskets are ending right there at the end of the church property here. You know, that's the probably some of the most critical. And then down here we've got an outfall, the culvert, the safety in treatment there is the only thing. But up here, nothing was really identified. There's some wetlands there that we needed to stay out of anyway. So we think we're good. Those down at the very bottom, just since we're on that, they've got a retaining wall. That retaining wall is still in pretty good shape. But right here at the start of the crossing here at Reek Road, we've got a little bit of reinforcement mat that we're putting in there.
And Paul, that retaining wall on the existing houses, their property or the city's property?
That's their property.
All right, anybody have any additional questions for Paul? I'll entertain a motion on M2.
Move to approve M2.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, M2 passes. Thank you, Paul. M3, I believe it's Tiffany. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Morning. Tiffany Curry with Tyler Water Utilities. I'm presenting item M3, which is the engineering services contract with KSA Engineering for the consent decree capacity group 3 design. A little bit of history. I know that most of you are familiar with our capacity work, but we completed a hydraulic model several years ago with pipeline analysis and LNV, and they identified some undersized lines in our collection system that are causing capacity constraints. We separated those into 3 large groups to be remediated. Group 1 has been completed. Group 2, we are wrapping up final design and hope to award that in January. Well, the first project in January and the second project a little bit later in 2025. And today I'm bringing to you Group 3. This capacity project we anticipate will be divided into 4 projects in basins 14, 17, and 19. We started preliminary design or preliminary alignment study back earlier this year and hope to complete construction by April 2027. It's just a general idea. I know the map is small, but we are spread across 3 different basins with this work. This scope of services includes preliminary design, final design, bid phase services, property owner coordination, all of the typical services that we have included in our capacity projects. For 4 design packages, the anticipated construction cost is $19,200,000, and the professional services fee is $4,177,105. My request for the City Council today is that you authorize the City Manager to execute a contract with KSA Engineering in the amount of $4,177,105 for the consent decree capacity work Group 3.
Thank you, Tiffany. Anybody have any questions for Tiffany? I see Chris out there. Anybody have any questions for Chris? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion on M3.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, M3 passes. Thank you, Tiffany. All right, consent agenda. Anything need to be pulled or approved as is?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to pull CA1 and just ask Chief Coble a question about it.
Okay. CA1, Chief Coble.
Chief, my questions are just for informational purposes, just so people realize how long it takes to get a fire truck.
Oh, yes, sir.
So you've got 2 fire trucks here, a pumper and an aerial.
Yes, sir.
How long will it take those before you get to put your guys in them?
The pumper, 30 months is what they're quoting us, and the aerial, 38 months.
It's a long time to get them, so
Yes,
you have
sir.
to order in advance. Okay.
Yes, sir. And ordering them in advance also help us. We did get a discount because we pay up front. That helps as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have any other questions on CA1? All right, I'll entertain a motion on CA1.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, CA1 passes. Any other items need to be pulled from the consent agenda? I will entertain a motion for the remainder of the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the remainder of the consent agenda is approved. Ed has promised us this morning that he's going to do the city manager's report while singing.
Yes, exactly. We've done a musical version of this one, and so there are parts that you have that you should be able to join in on as the chorus. No, we will not. But I appreciate that, Mayor Pro Tem. A few items of note. Reynolds and Kay has completed about 90% of the 2024 asphalt enhancement project. And part of the project I want to brag about is the one over for East Dawson Street in front of Christus Trinity Mother Frances Hospital that was reconstructed from Fleschel to Hospital Drive. Gary Cannon and the engineering department worked closely with Christus Trinity Mother Frances and UT Health System personnel to reduce the inconvenience as much as possible. With the main entrance to the hospital and emergency access, East Dawson Street was reconstructed in 2 phases. The hospital provided staff to help with pedestrian control, and Reynolds and Kay crews expedited the construction, so this project was completed in less than 2 weeks. Both Christus, Trinity Mother Frances, and the UT Health System were very pleased with the process and now have a new street serving them. A couple of awards I want to kind of highlight. Our communications team won a Marcom Platinum Award for the 2024 State of the City video, which y'all were all included in. I did not sing in, but maybe for this year's we will. And a Gold Award for the Future Ready Annual Report 2023-2024. And then finally, members from the Tyler Fire Department competed against other firefighters from around the globe at the World Firefighter Challenge Championship event held in Nashville, Tennessee in October. The relay team open division placed 12th in the world. Patrick Mayo placed 7th, and Terry Hawkins placed 5th in the world for their respective age divisions. Hats off to all these guys. The Firefighter Challenge is a competitive event pitting elite firefighter athletes against each other in head-to-head races that simulate the physical demands of real-life firefighting. Wearing full bunker gear and SCBA, pairs of competitors race against each other and the clock to complete an arduous task. So we're very impressed with our guys there and the work that they did. And just, while it may take a while for good equipment to come in, we've got great firefighters out there that can run pretty fast to get to you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Any questions?
I'd just like to make a comment and thank Chief Coble and his crew at the fire department for a great dinner for honoring the veterans and that y'all put on for city employees. It was a fantastic event. I want to thank the fire department for that.
Nicely said. Anybody else?
Ditto.
All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned.